Weidman, obviously, this is the big news. This is an amazing change in MMA history. Your take on it, just give us your feelings.
I just feel that, and I know Ray's going to elaborate on it a little bit more, that Weidman definitely has great mindset, that helped him win. He's got great coaching from Ray, from Matt, from Henzo, his wrestling coaches. And I think Ring of Combat helped him test, develop, and display his skills. He fought Uriah Hall. They were both undefeated.
Right.
Risky fight for both of them.
Right.
He tore the guy apart, you know. And I think that segued him to, and he was a stand-up fighter, you know, not as good as Anderson Silva, and he destroyed him, you know. And I think, you know, you get to believe in your techniques when you see that happen. And I think it really helped him, you know, prepare for the UFC and his great success.
Yeah, and I think the thing, you know, especially that night, what I love about the guy is that, you know, he talks the talk and he walks the walk. I think he backed up everything he said. You know, I think he did it the old-fashioned way, hard work. He wasn't looking for a TRT exemption. There's a kid who I think stands for the right things, and I think that's what really made the victory even special to me, is that he really backed up everything he said when people took it as, you know, he was kind of cocky. And, you know, Boogie Berra says, if you could do it, it ain't bragging.
You know, you talk about his character as a fighter. You guys are building like a ground up, a homegrown type of camp. Tell us a little bit about the Sarah Longo camp and how that developed. And was it always to build MMA stars or MMA fighters? Was that your vision, or was it just to have well-grounded fighters with good character?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all started. I mean, I think the common denominator is they're homegrown. You know, we have a saying, it's homegrown talent, and we're taking kids from the neighborhood and putting them in the big show, and that's what I think we like doing. And then, you know, even, you know, I was lucky enough to be part of Matt and Chris's dream come true, which for me, that's what I live for, is
right.
to, you know, help facilitate what these guys want to do, and to be a part of that was just, you know, like, again, as a coach, that's what you look for. Everybody wants at least one champion.
Right.
You know what I mean? To have two, and to have them both, you know, start out as young kids or young adults and that are from the neighborhood, I think.
And both scored the biggest upset in the history of MMA, which is incredible.
Two guys that were considered pound for pound the best guys in the world, and they're both fantastic guys, and they stand for the right things. I think that says, you know, what Sarah Longo team is all about. I think we're like a family. I think if I have a problem, I call Matt. If Chris has a problem, he'll call me. I call Chris. You know, it's that type of deal. You know, it's not, you know, you come here to train. I mean, Chris has a great family. You know, Matt has a great family, and I just saw all the kids. It's just it's a great thing. You know, my wife is close with his wife, and it
makes for a good foundation.
It makes for a good foundation. Yeah, and you know, and the same thing with Lou. We're all, I think what makes it special, we're all friends.
Right.
You know, we all socialize, and you could see we're hanging out in the backyard taking sun. And
well, you go way back with Lou.
Yeah.
And I remember the Vanderbilt days, and even days prior, you were in the promotional end of that with Lou. Is that correct? I mean,
he's still in the promotion with the kid, but he don't do much, but he's still part of it.
You know, he was.
So you
Look, I've been lucky enough, even with Lou. I mean, he didn't. I'm sure a lot of guys wanted to be his partner in the promotions, and something just clicked. And I think, you know, it's that karma. You know, and then through that, you know, he met Matt, and we started Matt fighting in those days, which he was a huge draw. And
the Vanderbilt.
Yeah, to see him go on to the UFC, and then, you know, Weidman. So it's all kind of synergistically working together.
Yeah, the synergies, they're right.
So whatever the reason, but I think it's because, you know, we all stand for the same things, and we're all friends. And, you know, I think when one of us has a problem, we all get behind each other, and that's the type of deal it is.
And Matt, you know, fought the Vanderbilt 4 times before the UFC. He went into the Vanderbilt back in 2009 or 2008. Oh, no, what am I saying? It was actually 2000. 2000, what am I saying? Yeah. The 4 fights were at the Vanderbilt, 2000, 2001. So a great history.
So it's a great marriage, because your Ring of Combat is a platform for MMA stardom, for these kids to have a platform to go to and show their talent, their skill. And you're a camp that develops these fighters. And using that platform, it just works. Did you ever think that it was going to work out this way at all? Or just like you said, because you were friends, that's the way it kind of grafted?
You know, for me, I think I had a passion for doing it. I didn't expect what was going to happen, but when you're doing something, it just kind of grows automatically, and it just happened to grow. The intention at the beginning wasn't to get there, but it just happened to work that way. But it's nice when you just pursue your passion and just see what happens, and it works out well at the end.
That's awesome.
And for me, you know, I have my philosophy in life, especially for everybody, is that find something you would do for free, and then figure out a way to get paid for it. and then you'll never think like you're working. And
it's a great
like
saying.
I'm going to do this. I never envisioned it because I'm going to keep doing what I always do, whether I get paid for it, I don't get paid for it. It's just something I do. I've been lucky enough to have a great family and great friends, and I'm not doing it for the money. When I think anytime you do this, I don't even feel like I work.
Right.
And I think, what's better than that? Many people, hate their jobs and are always bitching about this or that. I'm going in there and I'm having a great time every day.
Yes, you guys are having fun.
I think we're having fun.
And Rob, we talked about it many times, and I always said similar to what Ray said, find out what it is in life that'll make you happy and then seek it with all your might. And when you pursue your passion, it makes you a different person. In Brooklyn, guys beep a horn, a guy gets out, he wants to kill him. It's not because of the horn beep. People walk around hating their job and working 40, 50 hours a week at it, So it gives you great pleasure in life for sure.
Let me ask you a question just to break back to Matt. Do you think, I thought Matt, the upset, he was a substantial underdog when he fought George St. Pierre.
You're going to ask that question, okay?
What's that?
You're going to ask that question about which was the big upset.
No.
Okay. I think they both in themselves were really huge upsets,
Yes, no, I won't ask that question. What I want to say is, did Matt, does Matt, he must relate a lot to what Weidman just went through because of what he went through with George St. Pierre. That euphoria.
Oh, yeah. Well, the end result for sure. But again, we always laugh about this. I mean, Matt was given, he was the biggest underdog.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So, Chris really was, Chris wasn't.
The odds were changing on him.
No, Chris had the lowest odds Anderson Silva ever had.
In any of his fights.
In any of his fights. So
point.
He wasn't considered a big underdog.
Matt was a big underdog.
The common denominator is that all three of us knew they were going to win those fights. Matt walked in there knowing he was going to win, and Chris walked in there knowing he was going to win, and I walked in there believing both of those guys were going to win. That definitely is, the end result was definitely the same. But before that, what preceded that was, like, again, Matt was the biggest underdog in UFC history.
Right.
The other guy beat the pound for pound best guy with the lowest odds that he ever had. So.
I think more people bet on Weidman. I think more betting was on Weidman. I don't think that many people thought Matt would win, although the inner circle thought. We all thought he would win. But I think more people bet on Matt. Bet on Weidman as opposed to Matt.
If Weidman lost, I think the economy in Nassau County would have went into a deficit. Would have got killed.
A lot of people make good money.
I'm going to tell you something. This guy did more for Nassau County's economy than anybody. Believe me, there was a lot of money.
A lot of betting.
And you do that with two big smiles.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We spoke a little on the phone. I had mentioned to you that they were trying in the post-conference, they were trying to take it away from Weidman a little bit because of the hot dogging with Anderson Silva.
The showboating?
Yeah, the showboating. Yeah. So I think you had both, I spoke to you about it, and I think you have a little different takes on it, but what's your take on that? They tried to, on his showboating.
Anytime you have a guy that's considered unbeatable, the aftermath, especially right after that, people were confused. The Brazilians, they didn't know what to do.
But he got away with that showboating with everybody else, but he couldn't get away with it with Weidman.
He did it with Forrest, he did it with Bond. All of a sudden, Weidman does it, it's not acceptable. But if he would have missed with that left hook, Silva comes back with a right hand and drives. He's a hero.
He looks like a genius, right?
So, I think anybody who's in the know doesn't pay any attention to that.
Critics don't matter.
Nobody's taking
victory.
Nobody's taking that victory away from. We all know what happened, and anybody who's been who's worked out with him, sparred him, wrestled him, they know he's going to do it again.
I think he wins in the rematch more devastating than this time, without a doubt.
Really?
I think he killed with the mindset he has now.
If they motivate him by saying that this was a fluke, he might kill the guy. Yeah, he'll hurt him.
Really, go make him more decisive.
He's a beast.
He's that type of guy, yeah.
Well, you guys, your predictions were always right, pretty much on the mark.
Plus, you're taking a 40-year-old man who got his head bounced off the canvas. Like, what doctor is he going to that's going to recommend, go back in there a couple of months, that's good. Just had a major concussion, but go back, that's good. No boxer's ever come back from a knockout being 23, 24, 25. The guy's 40 years old, man. He's got a big task ahead of him. A really big task.
Look at the confidence Weidman's walking there in the ring with.
Absolutely.
Knowing that he knocked him out, knocked him down, then knocked him out and ground and pound. Yeah. Huge.
Well, that's awesome. It's a great day for MMA with Chris Weidman in your camp. And what
couldn't happen to a better guy, great guy. Family man, spiritual, hard worker, great champion traits.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for your time. Right. You got to run. Thank you, Longo.
Take it easy.